It is 6:55 on Thursday night. We are 3 weeks away from the NFL draft, and we here at Perfect Spiral have you covered. Last week, we did the quarterback and the running back rankings, and we had you covered on the offensive side of the football, the more fun one. But this week, we're getting our hands dirty. We're getting hands in the dirt. We're hitting you with our money where our mouth is. It's time for some defense. And Johnny Boy and myself got some defensive line and some linebackers. Welcome to episode 7 of the Perfect Spiral podcast. Here is what we got on deck for you coming up. New York Jet fans, you might want to listen into the first segment. We got Sam Darnold trades coming at you with the Carolina Panthers. We're going to see who won the trade. We got the Jets. We got the Panthers. Did both teams. Is any team going to benefit from this trade, John? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Well, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to let you know because I have no fucking clue. In our second segment, then we are going to break down John's top 5 linebackers, and then we're going to break down my top 5 interior linemen, defensive linemen, and then my 5 edge rushers. And then in the last segment, we're going to have a little fun with the mock draft this week. We're going to do a speed round, and we're going to see where John and our hearts truly lie with where we are going to pin some players. Episode 2 of 4 of draft coverage is coming up next on Perfect Spiral. Let's roll.
You play to win the game. Touchdown!
Can't wait.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, John. How are you?
What's going on?
I'm doing well, man. I am. I'm doing good.
That's sarcasm.
Oh, I've had a fucking rough day, man. I really have. I've had a rough day, up and down. I haven't stopped. I'm supposed to be recording this about literally a half hour ago, and now we're just starting. And Hannah's gonna murder me when I tell her. If she texts, she's gonna text me in 10 minutes. And
She's already upset about the fantasy group chat.
That is wild.
That was hilarious.
$1,000 buy-in.
Yeah, that was just so for everybody that's listening, real quick. We have for Joe's fantasy league, 2-time champ. We have a group chat that we have a group chat that's it goes on throughout the year because we all just text each other random football stuff. And one of the guys in our league, shout out Richie, said that he has a league that's going to be $1,000 buy-in. Of course,
Sick.
Me, I'm a degenerate. I texted him on the side and I said, before you text the group chat anything, you need to let me know when things like this happen because I'm in. And then we told Joe, I was like, Joe, let's split it.
I need a wedding gift, bro.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's coming. so Joe, I'm like, Joe, let's split it. He goes, I would do it any other year, except if I wasn't getting married this year. And we all just were like, postpone the wedding. We're making hashtags and stuff. And then his fiance writes in the chat, you all want to die, don't you?
Yeah, and for people, yes, my fiance is in the fantasy football league. Yes.
Which I forgot.
I have that much of a winner on my hands, so there it is.
Yeah, that was funny.
Amazing. But, well, with that, welcome to Perfect Spiral, folks. My name is Joe Miglio. I have John McCarthy across from me, who introduced himself a little bit earlier. Episode 7, my God, we have coming at you fast and furious. I don't even know where to start, but before we do start, let me just remind everybody, make sure you're following us on Twitter and on our Facebook, on our YouTube page, on our TikTok, at PSP Pod on Twitter. Make sure that you're subscribing and following us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google and Stitcher or Deezer or wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you're giving us those 5-star subscribe reviews. Thank you to the 18 people.
18 reviews so far.
18 ratings that we've gotten on Apple Podcasts. That's great. We're slowly growing, but I love every part of it. We got some stuff in the works. But for today, we're gonna cover some more draft stuff. I mean, I can't wait. Bro.
Oh, I'm ready.
With the way that the Knicks have been playing, I mean, the Knicks are playing hard, right? They're literally leaving every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears on the court, and to just realize they're not good enough yet is just truly heartbreaking. But I still support them, and it's 4 games into the MLB season, and I already can't stand the Mets. So,
well, Conforto hit a walk-off today, right?
Yeah, walk-off hit by pitch. That was a complete blatant call, so it's fine. And so all I had to look forward to is April 29th when I hear Sunshine's name called and says, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Trevor Lawrence. And then I get a rock hard erection, and I wear it for about a month. So it's fine.
Did you see that he's skipping the medicals in Indy because he's getting married and he wants to go to the Masters?
Sick. I love him already.
That is a power move.
He knows what's happening. He knows what's going on.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Urban gave him the call.
Speaking of quarterbacks, John, let's get right into it. And let's hit up in our own backyard for a couple of minutes because we had a big trade go down a couple of days ago where the New York Jets finally revealed their hand to the public. And they traded Sam Darnold to the Carolina Panthers. It was for a 6th-round pick this year and a 2022 2nd-round pick and a 2022 4th-round pick. What is your initial reaction to Sammy D going to Carolina?
A couple of things. One, like you just said, the Jets showed their hand finally.
I'm just going to say I was right.
Yes, you were right. I was the one that was not right. It's okay. The Jets showed their hand, and I think we can almost say with certainty Zach Wilson's going to be going there.
Oh, they're definitely taking a quarterback. Yeah.
It's a quarterback and high chance it's Zach Wilson.
Yes, I
Schefter
agree.
was saying that I think he sent him a text or one of the teams sent a text that said welcome to New York in regards to him. So, but I think this is more, good for the Jets. Even
now
though
it's on Douglas. It's Douglas's guy.
Yeah, now it's going to be Douglas's guy. It's Douglas's coach. Now this is fully Douglas's team. He has gotten rid of everything from McCagnon, and now we can truly see if he's worth what everybody's been saying about him for years now.
Right.
But I think more so, this is a weird move by Carolina for me. Carolina could have easily moved up to 4, but Atlanta's not going to trade with them in the division, right? And it just doesn't. They must know that they can't get the guy that they really want in the draft where they're at.
That's exactly what I was just going to say.
Yeah.
They don't want to trade. They're not in a position, Panthers, to trade up and give up draft picks right now. They're not in that position. They're not ready to win.
Yeah.
They're not, they're just not. They got the Tampa Bay Bucks in that division. You got the Saints who, at worst, I think this year they're a 500 team, and then you got Atlanta who they're not very good, but for some reason Atlanta, they have all the talent in the world. So you really can't ever count them out for some reason.
Yeah. They stay in games, but then
they
just
always
don't win
lose them. Right.
Yeah.
But I think for Carolina, it's a combination of two things. One, it's the fact that they're not going to get Lawrence. They're not going to get Wilson. They're not going to get either Mac Jones, Trey Lance, or Justin Fields. And now with Atlanta open for business with that 4th pick and most likely moving back, high chance if a team moves up to that 4 spot, a 4th quarterback is going to be selected in a row to start the draft. There is I would say at this rate, an 80% possibility that the top 4 picks of the NFL draft this year are going to be quarterbacks.
And that's high. And I just want to touch on one more thing with Carolina, Joe. This also, I'm going to gloss over it briefly. They're out on Watson. Just like the 49ers are out on Watson now.
Oh,
too.
Absolutely.
So
he's got his own heap of problems.
Yeah, he's got his own thing going on, and it's the market for him as far as teams that have the capital.
It's dried up.
It's dried up now.
It's definitely dried up. The one team that could still get in on it if they really want to, I think, is Washington.
Yeah.
But that may be one of the teams that there's a team that if I could 100% see trading with Atlanta on the day of the draft. Mm-hmm. And let's just say, for argument's sake, that San Francisco takes Mac Jones at 3, which everybody is projecting at this point.
Yeah, it seems like it's a big secret.
If Ron Rivera really wants Trey Lance, he could move up and get Trey Lance at 4 and have him sit behind Ryan Fitzpatrick for a year. That's not out of the realm of possibilities.
No, and it's so Dan Snyder's gonna want to do it.
Of course, and in a year where people were arguing for months whether Penei Sewell was going to go 2 or if Jamar Chase was going to go 3, we're probably going to get 4 quarterbacks in the top 4 picks, which brings me to my second point. Carolina thinks they're not going to get a top flight quarterback. Fine, right? They don't feel comfortable with Teddy Bridgewater into next season. So let me ask you a question. What is the downside? Seriously, what is the downside of trading for Sam Darnold? What is the down? Because if they suck with Sam, they just take a younger guy and they start over with that guy. If he's good and he proves he could be a good quarterback, then it's a fucking steal.
Oh yeah, he's only 24, Joe.
So like what exactly? So tell me what the downside is of them trading for Sam Darnold.
There's no real downside, right? But this quarterback class is by my account, it's actually pretty strong. I think this quarterback class is pretty good.
I think it's average. I do. I think it's average, but
I'll agree to disagree. But when it comes to Carolina and Sam Darnold, they already committed to Sam Darnold's option for $18 million.
Which we knew what that was the outstanding question with the Jets.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're not going to just take him and then like it was going to be one or the other. It was going to be because with Sam, you know, he's either a lame duck because you're not going to give him the option, which basically means, hey, we only want you for a year, or you commit to him for the 2 years, which the Panthers did right away.
Yeah, the Panthers did it right away. But if you can't move Teddy, now you have a problem.
They're going to move Teddy.
But my thing with Sam Darnold and Teddy Bridgewater going into this situation, I mean, Sam's never had, and we spoke about this the other day.
Right.
Sam's never had this many weapons on the team.
Absolutely.
He's never had it.
He has the best running back in football on his roster.
Yeah, he's never had it. I don't know if the talent gap between Teddy and Sam is that drastic, but Sam is younger, Sam is cheaper, and
here's what the difference is. We know what Teddy is.
Yeah.
And we, especially living in New York, where we get to see the Jets play every Sunday on television, at least for me, I have not gotten an accurate description of Sam Darnold yet on what he could be. Let's just break it down really quick, right? First year of Sam Darnold's career, the last 4 weeks of the year, that season, right, his rookie year, he posted the second highest QB rating in the league, right? So what do the Jets do? They fire the GM, they fire the head coach, they get rid of all the coaches, they bring in a whole new ragtag group of guys, right?
And they got rid of his number one receiver.
And that was the following season.
Oh, that's right.
That wasn't last year, right? So then the next year they get Le'Veon Bell, they make all these other moves, this and that, whatever, right? The next season, right? They start off like 0-7 or some shit like that, and then they go 7-2 in their last 9 games. They finish the year 7-9, right? What happens then? Then they get rid of. Then they don't re-sign Robbie Anderson, Sam's number one target, who, holy shit, he just reconnected with in Carolina. Yep. I wonder why. Then this year, the talent around him was dog shit. It wasn't good.
He had nothing.
It was the worst roster he's had in his 3 years as a Jet player. Now think about that. He got drafted 3 years ago. When you draft your franchise quarterback, your team's supposed to be getting better as the years go on. His team got worse. Significantly worse from year to year. So I don't want to hear that Sam is bad because we've never seen Sam have the tools. We've never had. This will be the first year that Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones could be on an equal level playing field when it comes to can we accurately evaluate them for what they are.
I agree with you. I don't know what Sam Darnold is either. I haven't been able to.
And people will say, "Oh, well, Sam should have overcome the adversity." All right, listen to me. People who say that, I understand you to a point, but the guy's not Tom Brady, right? The guy's not Patrick Mahomes. The guy's not a top 5 quarterback. That's clear. Like, we're not saying that he's going to be a top 5 quarterback. But can he be a quarterback on a team where your team's a run-first team and you protect the football and you're able to make all the throws? I still think he could be that. And holy shit, morons, Eli Manning made a fucking career out of that. He made a career out of that. He won 2 Super Bowls and he came up clutch when he needed to. Godspeed. But he made a career out of being a run-first offense, right? Throwing the football when you needed to. And he had his fair share of turnovers. finished his regular season career as a 500 quarterback. So let's not pull any punches here. I don't think Sam Darnold's career is dead in the water. I think now we get an opportunity. This is Sam's last chance, right?
This is it.
These 2 years are his opportunity to be like, I'm a starting quarterback in this league. If he doesn't succeed these 2 years, that's it.
Oh, he's out of the league. He's out of the league at that point. Because and you're right. It's his last chance. And this is where we can accurately see what he is. He has a good coach. Matt Rule, I think, is a good coach. I think the players are around him. Let's see what he can do. And you got a GM that's willing to spend and willing to do what needs to be done. I mean, I don't think we really. I think they were on our hate list. I don't think we fully agreed with what they did in free agency. But I mean, listen, it's a work in progress. I mean, they're still probably you could argue the third best team in the division.
Listen, they got McCaffrey, okay. They got DJ Moore, they got Robbie Anderson on that line, on that offense as weapons. They re-signed Taylor Moton, which was big for them. I do not like what they did in free agency. They just signed AJ Boye, which wasn't an awful signing, but I think Boye's past his prime. So we'll see. For the Jets, it's just starting over. And it's this, and Jet fans are upset because it's the same cycle over and over again. It seems like every 4 years, the Jets are drafting a new quarterback in the top 5 of the draft.
Well, eventually you're going to hit.
Well,
so I mean,
tell that to a Jet fan.
Look at the Browns.
Do the Jets want to be the Browns? Does
No.
anybody want to be the Browns?
I mean, Rome wasn't built overnight, so.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. But Rome wasn't built in a day.
Oh,
like, come on.
God damn! I was trying to be serious for a second, and I don't even do the analogy.
Jesus,
right? I suck.
But your analogy game is off the mark.
Oh,
that's for sure.
It's horrible.
But
over the hill.
I think. Listen, over the hill. I think that. I really think that for the Jets, you're truly starting over. You're truly starting over. I don't know now. It's a little difficult to accurately depict where they're going to be next year. I don't think they're a playoff team by any stretch.
No, not at all.
We'll see what it looks like. For all intents and purposes, it looks like it's going to be Zach Wilson. Whether that's the right quarterback to pick, I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
I know you are sold on him being QB2. I'm not, personally.
I don't like the situation he's going into.
Well, listen, like you said, he's got a GM that's going to trust him because he's drafting him. He's got a head coach who, for my opinion, is going to be an excellent head coach. He's got a system, Mike LaFleur system that he ran with Kyle Shanahan for years, which has shown to be successful, especially for a West Coast quarterback. That Zach Wilson, and everybody says Zach Wilson would have. See, it's funny. Everyone's saying, "Oh, Zach Wilson would be a perfect fit in the 49ers system." Well, wouldn't that by default mean he'd be a perfect fit in whatever system Mike LaFleur is going to run? Because he's been with Kyle Shanahan forever.
You are right with that.
So
I didn't even think of that, honestly.
So, if that's the case, everyone keeps saying he would be a perfect fit in Frisco, then he should be a perfect fit in New York. So let's give the kid a chance. Let's see what he's got. I think Jet fans have to be patient. And that's difficult for a Jet fan to hear because they've been patient since 1969, waiting for a franchise quarterback to come into the fold. Yep. And it hasn't happened yet. So I understand their non-patience, but I think if Sam was going to be successful, it wasn't going to be here, because you were getting to a point with Sam where if he continued to turn the football over, and he continued to make bad decisions, he was going to start getting booed.
Oh, he's going to get eaten alive.
Yeah, and I think the Jet fan has been very patient with Sam, and they've been very supportive of Sam. And there are Jet fans who I hear on the radio all day long who are defending Sam, saying that he shouldn't have been traded, that they wanted to see him get a shot with this team. And unfortunately, that's not going to happen. But for the Jets, you're looking at likely, if we get our way here at Perfect Spiral, the Jets are going to have a rookie quarterback, a rookie running back, a second-year wide receiver,
who looked really good last year,
right? With Mims, with sprinkled with a couple of veterans, a second-year left tackle. Offense is young, man. It's young, and it could really if it's done right, it could really blossom into something good. But we're gonna have to wait and see. It's not gonna. We won't know for at least 2 years.
Yeah. I'm
So-
sure we'll revisit this discussion after the draft.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's take a quick break. When we get back, we are going to do our deep dive into the defensive side of the football for the NFL draft. It's linebackers and the defensive line coming up next. All right, folks. Well, we're back here on Perfect Spiral, segment number 2 coming at you. So we talked about in our last segment how the trade between the Jets and the Panthers affected the NFL draft and how it was going to affect the quarterback and what the Panthers did. So now we're going to turn to the other side of the football on the defensive side, and we're going to hit up John first. And we're gonna what's the term in deal or no deal when we're gonna call the bank and we're gonna see what John has in store for us with the linebacker position. So we're gonna do what we did last week. John's gonna give us a breakdown of his top 5 from 5 to 1 of linebackers, where you might expect them to be drafted. And if John's got any comps, we could go with that route too. So, John, take it away.
All right, so I'm going to start from 5, like Joe said, and I am going to talk about. I'm just getting my my paperwork up here. I wasn't prepared.
Very rough week for us.
Very rough week here.
Very rough week. Very, very busy. Everybody's very busy.
Okay, so my number 5 linebacker. I'll go from 5 to 1, and then I'll highlight about 2 or 3 guys I want to talk about. Number 5 is Nick Bolton out of Missouri.
Okay.
Number 4 for me is Jabril Cox out of LSU.
Okay.
Interesting player.
Right.
Probably the best coverage linebacker in this draft.
I love coverage linebackers.
I could definitely see him in that case creeping into the first round.
Wow.
A lot of these linebackers, from what I've gone through with the top 5, a lot of these linebackers are moving away from the traditional like linebacker position, right? You're seeing a lot more of these hybrid players. Jabril Cox is definitely one of those hybrid players.
Okay.
Number 3 is Zaven Collins.
Boo!
One of Joe's favorite prospects.
He should be number 1, bro. I can't wait for that kid to
This guy's a true linebacker. He reminds me a lot of Anthony Barr in a way, except Zaven Collins could definitely line up as an edge rusher. Big guy. We're talking like 6'4".
Isn't he like 6'4", 250, something like that?
6'4", like 250, 260.
Yeah.
Big guy.
Big boy.
Very big. Number 3 for me is...
Number 2.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Number 2, this is going to actually surprise some people after our mock last week. Number 2 is Micah Parsons.
Oh.
Micah Parsons, it's been a while since we've seen him. Last time we saw him was in 2019, right? Because last year he sat out.
Did he opt out?
He opted out of the season.
Right.
Micah Parsons is an absolute freak. He just ran a 4.3 almost? Or was it?
I feel like they all ran 4.3.
Yeah, everybody ran. Yeah, because they're not actually official.
It's a pro day thing.
Yeah,
so I feel like they're all running 4.3s.
The only knock on Parsons is that he didn't have a lot of coverage snaps. He was more in that scheme, at least. Not saying he can't do it. He has the speed and athleticism to do it. But just in his scheme at Penn State, he didn't line up a lot in coverage. And my number 1 linebacker prospect, who please fall to 14.
He might.
I'm going to butcher his name. Jeremiah
Owusu Karamoa.
There
There you go.
There we go.
Done. Very
Wow.
good.
It's like hooked on phonics. This guy is an absolute beast. Okay. The last 2 seasons per PFF, and you know what's crazy is Jabril Cox might be better than him in coverage, which is nuts. But once you hear these coverage numbers, lining up in the slot
As a corner,
he's at 2019 77.2, 2020 83.2 in coverage grade. This guy could line up all over the field. Some teams might not even see him as a linebacker. Some teams might see him as safety. He's one of those players that it's that Swiss Army knife player.
like what the hell, Isaiah Simmons?
Like Isaiah Simmons, like a Jabril Peppers. He's one of those guys.
Oof.
Small.
It turns me off a little bit, but I love his motor. That's why I like him so much.
Yeah,
he's physical as all hell.
Oh, he's incredible. He's about 215 in weight, a little light for the linebacker position, but can line up anywhere on the field. And I feel like, and this is when I want him on I want him on the Vikings, like in the worst possible way.
Right.
But remember last week how I mocked him? We mocked Micah Parsons to Denver.
Yes.
I could see Karamoa being in Denver. Because you got to play against the Chiefs. You got to play against the Chiefs twice a year.
Yeah.
So this guy can line up all over the field. The one knock I have on him is he is, and it's like his most positive trait is also his most negative trait for me. He's a master of none player. You need to go to that specific team that's going to know how to use you in your. He doesn't have one definitive position. He's going to be drafted as a linebacker. I don't think he might not play linebacker. There's a good chance he does not play linebacker in the NFL. And it's weird because when you're coming out, you think you would have a definitive position. He doesn't have it.
Well, so when you say that, it's funny because Simmons struggled out of the gate last year.
Yep.
And he didn't really come on until the latter part of his rookie year because he didn't have a space to go to pretty much, you know? Are you saying that you think this kid might have the same struggles at the beginning of his career?
I think so. I liked where to go to Isaiah Simmons and then to compare them because obviously there's the comp there is Isaiah Simmons / Jabril Peppers, that sort of player.
Right.
When it comes to Karamoa, and actually, I'm sorry, when it comes to Simmons, I think Arizona picking him was great, but I didn't think it was a good fit because I didn't think that coaching staff would know how to use him.
Right. Okay.
And it turns out they didn't really know how to use him. You need to go to like a team that's going to know how to use you. I could see Karamoa being successful in Detroit also.
Interesting.
I could see him being successful in Denver, like I said.
Yo, learning from Vaughn would be sick.
Learning from Vaughn would be sick. Vic Fangio, you're going to tell me he won't know how to use that kid? He's one of the best defensive coaches in the league. He's not a good head coach, but he's a great defensive coach. You're going to tell me Mike Zimmer can't figure out how to use him? And I mean, I know he wouldn't go as high as 2, but like say
Imagine
the Jets.
him with Bill.
Belichick would I don't even, there's no words.
Belichick would turn him into the next Teddy Bruschi, I think.
It's incredible. Like,
Yeah.
you need to go to the right system. And I don't think Simmons went to the right system. If this kid goes to the right system, he could be an absolute freak, which is why I have him as my number 1 linebacker. And he's not even
Number 1 because he's got the highest potential and not because he's going to put out maybe the best day 1 output.
Yeah, he's got the highest potential. Micah Parsons is the obvious slot in. He's going to do wonders for you, Devin White style player.
Oh.
And then you have Zaven Collins, who traditional linebacker, big boy, could line up on the edge.
Love Zaven Collins, bro.
Big
Love
big
Zaven
guy.
Collins.
You
I
know?
think he's a perfect fit for a team like New Orleans to replace Trey Hendrickson.
Oh, and he might be there. I mean, I don't think he's going to go.
So let me ask you a
high.
question. Out of those 5 guys, how many of those guys you think are surefire first rounders?
I'm going to go with 4.
You really think 4
yeah.
of those guys getting drafted
Yeah,
in the first round?
I think Karamoa is a first round pick. Parsons is a first round pick.
I think Karamoa and Parsons are definite. I hear Collins is like towards the end of the first round, maybe early second if he decides to slip.
Jabril Cox, I think we had when we did our mocks, I think we had a second round grade on him.
I have a second round grade on him currently, yes.
I could see, like I said, I could see him sliding up because of his ability in coverage.
Wow. Okay.
The league, Joe, you know the league is changing. The league is spread them out.
Out of those 5 guys, who's the guy that scares you the most?
That would be a bust.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's hard because my favorite player also scares me the most.
Karamoa. That's what I was gonna say. Wouldn't it would make sense for you to say him?
It's scary and it's weird because
That's a polarizing player.
He really is, and I'm sitting here and I'm talking about it, and it's weird to say that I'm on both sides of the fence with this guy, you know, but it's just, and I don't think it's going to be because of him. I think it's going to be because of coaching. I don't think that would be like him not being able to grasp the league. I think he will. I think he's a smart player. I mean, from what I've seen of him, he's electric. But if you don't go to the right team, I mean, that's with any player, you know? And especially, it's even more so a big deal because of his skill set. So.
Jeez. All right. So, linebackers, top 5 linebackers for Mr. McCarthy there. Interesting. Let's shift it over to the edge rushers for a second.
Yeah, your turn now.
So, top 5, and I'm going to go 5 to 1, and we'll break each one down a little bit as we go.
All right.
So, my 5th one I have is Jason Owe out of Penn State. I currently have him ranked number 32 on my version 2 big board, which now features top 200 players. You can catch that on the Draft Network. We'll put a link out there tomorrow with the pod if you want to catch that. But I have him at 32, and he comes in at 6'5", 257. So he's a hand in the dirt guy, edge rusher. He's definitely a prospect guy. He's not somebody who may make an impact day one. His ideal fit may be something like a 3-4 outside linebacker at the end of the day. I don't know if he's like, really in a 4-3 type of defense guy. But you know who I could see him being like at his peak, honestly, if he really gets developed well?
Hit me.
Yannick Ngakoue.
Interesting. Okay.
I do. I think
we're big fans of Yannick here.
I think he could definitely be somebody that really is good at rushing the quarterback and not much else. I don't think the edge rusher prospects in this draft are anything to write home about. I think there's one guy, and we'll get to him when we're done with the list, who's like far and away better than every other edge rusher in this class. And I'm not so sure the rest of the edge rusher class, and I'm not sure any of those guys is going to turn into a star. I think that everybody on this list outside of number 1 is a rotational defensive lineman. Maybe one of those guys becomes like a every down starter. I'm not really high on the edge rushing class, at least not from what I watched. I'm not really high on the class. So for Owe, I think the things you're looking at, like I said, pure pass rusher. You don't think you're going to get a lot out of him in the running game, especially because, I think his ideal position is standing up. And usually when you have to convert a defensive end to standing up, it's because he's not great in the run game and he's better as a linebacker. Ngakoue on Oakland, I'm never going to not say Oakland. Ngakoue on Vegas is not going to really, I don't think he's going to put his hands in the dirt a lot. I think he's going to be standing up and rushing the quarterback because he's not great in the run game. He's great at stripping. He's great at strip sacks. He's great at, rushing the quarterback, all this other stuff. So I think that Owe's played good competition. He was in the Big Ten, played at Penn State, so the competition is there. He's really flexible. I like his flexibility. The one thing that I will think he's going to struggle in is his football IQ. His football IQ is a little low for my liking. He's not all there yet, which makes him become a project. He's not somebody. That's why I think he's going to go late. I think he's going to go second round. I think he's a second round pick. And I think he'd really benefit from going to a team that has a really established pass rusher that he could really latch on to. My number 4 guy is actually Gregory Rousseau out of Miami. And Rousseau is an interesting guy because Rousseau, if you look at his statistics, he had 15 and a half tackles for loss last year. And I believe, what was it? 19? Not that. I think that number is wrong, but I'm going to just say it. Comes in at number 25 on my 19 and a half tackles for loss and 15 and a half sacks in 2019. That production's electric, right?
Oh, incredible.
Right? It's great. But I'm going to tell you right now, he's underdeveloped as an edge rusher. He's not all there. He comes in at 6'5", 260, very similar in height and weight to Owe. He's coming out as a redshirt sophomore. So, I think he's a guy who may be the opposite. He's a guy who I think may end up being better in the run game and at some point in his career actually may migrate from an edge rusher to an interior defensive lineman because I think he might be better suited there. I don't know if he's necessarily going to stick as an edge rusher for his whole career. I
A
think
lot of potential there, though, with him.
potential is there. I think when you play, and I think he was overshadowed by another guy who he played with, who we'll get to in a little bit. But I think that for Rousseau, I haven't been able to pinpoint a comp on him yet because I think he's like that hybrid, like could play. Like I'm not gonna. This isn't his comp, but almost like a Calais Campbell, where some downs he could play on the outside and other downs he could play on the inside, depending on what the scheme the defense is running calls for. So he'd be beneficial if he were to play for a coach who had multiple scheme fits for defense. So I think Rousseau there. He's got really good length, Rousseau. So I think that's one of his that would help him in the run game because he could wrap up guys more easily. He's not very quick. So I think another reason why he may be better in the middle and not on the edge. He's not as quick. His moves aren't all there yet. He's still a little raw in that respect. I got Rousseau at number 4. Number 3, I'm not going to take too much time on this guy because I haven't really done my homework that much on him. But at number 3, I have Kwity Paye out of Michigan. And a lot of people have Kwity Paye in their top 10 for overall prospects. I don't because, and mainly speaking, he's got small hands.
We brought up small hands on this pod.
We did, yeah. He's got small hands, and a lot of people talk about the hands with the quarterbacks, and I think that's hilarious. But
that's why I said it.
but to have his small hands as an edge rusher, you have to like.
Joe is doing a demonstration of how to be an edge rusher.
I am. So like you have to get down in a stance, right?
Yes, Joe.
And then you have to pop up, right? And you have to pop up, and you got this fucking mammoth of an offensive lineman on the other side who's trying to block you, and you have to get your hands, and you have to be able to either push him up and away, or you have to swim and get that lock on the outside to rush to be able to rush him.
And with his tiny fucking hands, he can't do it.
With his tiny fucking hands, I don't know if he's gonna be able to do it. That's something you can't just grow monster hands, but he's another guy that I think he might just be better on the interior than on the edge. I could see. It's like we said that Caleb Farley was going to slip in the first round. Kwity Paye is my guy, who I think is going to fall into the late first round. And if there was a combine, which there's not this year, but if there was a combine, I think his combine would make him fall out of the first round. So if there's one player who I think is going to be a bust, it's Kwity Paye.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an indictment on Kwity Paye.
It is. Number 2, I have Azeez Ojulari out of Georgia. Ojulari is... I just got a really, really weird random text, so I apologize for that. I completely got distracted for a second. And I lost my Azeez Ojulari page. Son of a bitch. Live podcasting. Coming at you. No, I'm kidding. So Ojulari is an edge rusher. He's a little bit more edge rusher type. He's 6'3", 240 out of Georgia. Played in the SEC, obviously. He's ideally, he's another guy who I think is more on the Jason Owe train, where he can really, he really is good. He's going to be good at rushing the passer. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to be really good at rushing the passer. It's funny because the Draft Network has him as a rush linebacker. Well, rush linebacker, that makes sense. As a pass rusher. I think that the big indictment on Ojulari is he's not consistent. He's really not consistent at all. And I think coming out of a team like the SEC, it's not something that is great on tape because you're playing against pretty much pros at that level. Another thing is his length isn't great for an edge rusher, which is I think why he might be converted to a line. It's funny. I keep mentioning these guys may be converted. I don't know. That's why I keep saying if these guys stick as edge rushers, they're rotational guys. If they want to be surefire starters in the league, they might have to switch positions.
Yeah.
I think, and that brings me to my number 1. Jaleen Phillips is my number 1 edge rusher for this class. Defensive end out of Miami. Okay? I'm going to tell you something right now. Jaleen Phillips could be a star in this league if he wants to be a star in this league. Simply put, he is number 9 on my big board. He's in my top 10 talent-wise, okay? My comp for him is Mario Williams. So
Not bad.
yeah, I think that he's a guy who has all the physical tools.
There's a motor issue with him, though.
He's got all the physical tools, right? Keyword being physical. So I think he needs to go to a team who, you know what, a team would be perfect for him? I think if he were to go to the New York Giants at 11, there's a team and a coach, and Joe Judge, who I like very much. First time I can say in a long time that I think both New York teams have very good coaches. I think Jalen Phillips would do wonders for a guy like that. I think Jalen Phillips would be good for a guy like Bruce Arians or a guy like, Sean Payton. I don't think Jalen Phillips would be good for a guy like Bill Belichick. There are one thing we have to realize about the draft and these guys, and for those of you that don't know, I am a high school basketball coach, so I have a little bit of experience in this.
Joe's a coach too.
I am, yeah. 7 years in running, actually.
One of many hats Joe wears.
Yes, a lot, so many. One thing I learned while I was coaching is each player you have is different. So some players you could be super hard on and they'll respond to it. Other players you can't be. And other players you have to kind of like walk them through. I don't want to use the word coddle, but some guys are more sensitive than others. And because of the time and age that we live in, you got to be careful with what you do and what you say and how you say it and everything like that. So Phillips is a guy who I don't think is going to respond well to somebody saying, do this, do that, go do that, go do this. I don't think he's going to respond well.
Hard
to that.
coaching. He just
right. I don't think he's going to respond. Not off the bat, at least. He's going to need a team that's going to get on him, but in a way where they're supportive of him. Because that's how I think they're going to get the most out of him. And he's a guy who would truly, truly, truly benefit from being with like a superstar on his team. Like if he were to go to like a Chicago Bears at 19 or 20 with Khalil Mack, money in the bank.
You know what's funny, Joe? And it's funny you say that because you know what just popped into my head? You know what this guy sounds like? Or you know who this guy sounds like to me? And I can't believe I just thought of this when you said it.
Sure.
And the superstar thing made it sound even better. Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, I could definitely see him being a Clowney. I could absolutely see him being a Clowney.
Because Clowney didn't respond well to coaching either.
No, and Clowney's big thing was that one play in
was
college
his whole career.
Was pretty much what got him drafted number 1 overall.
Was that one play?
Was that one play?
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
But he went to a situation, like you just said, like with
In Houston,
J.J. Watt, one
right.
of the greatest defensive players of our lifetime.
Absolutely.
And he shined in that situation. Not saying he was never like a top. I don't think he was ever like top. I don't know. You want to say 7, 8 in his position?
Yeah, but like I said, my comp with him was Mario Williams. Mario Williams is never like the best in the league.
Serviceable.
But Mario Williams, I think he was better than serviceable. Mario Williams was a guy who was put up consistent numbers every year. Another guy I was almost close to comping to him was Whitney Merciless.
Okay.
But I thought because of his size, he was more like a Mario Williams than a Whitney Merciless. Yeah. But I think Phillips is going to be a good pro if he wants to be. He's got all the tools. He's got the length. He's got the hands. He's got the physical tools. He's got the speed. He's got the football IQ. He's got everything you want. He needs to want to be that good. He needs to want to be that good. I could see him being an Alden Smith before all the shit happened.
Alden Smith before
yeah. Honestly, I think he could be that good.
Real quick, Joe, I just want to do. I want to ask you a question about your rankings.
Sure.
Say we were, and this is a fun little question I have for you. Say we took Zaven Collins.
Yeah.
And we put him into your category of edge rushers.
Okay.
Defensive edge rushers.
Yeah.
Where does he rank on your edge rushers?
Number 1, without question.
Wow.
I think that
because he had over a 90% grade as an edge rusher.
I think that the edge rushing class, like I said before, is not ideal. And the reason I've spoken so much time on the edge rushers is because the defensive tackle position is not even worth talking about. I'm dead serious. It is piss poor. Piss poor. Ed, I'll give you my top 5 rankings, but I'm literally only going to review one player because that's the only player that is valuable of our time tonight. Like that, the defensive tackle position is garbage. It's garbage. It is the worst position we will review during this draft process, bar none.
Wow,
bar none. Not even remote. So my top 5 for my defensive tackle, I got number 5 Jay Tufele out of USC. Number 4 I got Davion Nixon out of Notre Dame. Number 3 I got Tommy Togiai out of Ohio State. I think I got that right. Number 2 I got Levi Onwuzurike out of the University of Washington. And I got number 1, far and away the best one, not even close, is Christian Barmore out of Alabama.
Yep.
And Barmore is the only guy that I think is worth talking about. I think Barmore is probably going to get drafted in the first round. They have a funny feeling he may end up going to my Jaguars at 25 if he's there. I think the Jaguars are down to 2 guys at 25. Honestly, I think, and they're 2 pretty polarizing players. Barmore's one, the other one is Kadarius Toney. So I know John's smiling right now.
Yes, I am smiling.
But I think Barmore is going to be like I think Barmore is going to be a really productive pro. I think he's going to be a very, very a Chris Jones type of defensive tackle. I think Barmore is going to be that good.
Wow.
I think he's a guy that in his career will be a 3-down defensive tackle. He will greatly benefit from being in a 4-3 defense as opposed to a 3-4 defense. I think, which makes me a little hesitant with the Jaguars because they are now converting to a 3-4 defense. But I think he definitely would greatly benefit from being in a 4-3, where he's got 2 edge rushers who could rush the quarterback at a good rate to help him out a little bit, so he could just stuff the middle of that offensive line. The other guys, I only have 2 defensive tackles in my top 50 overall prospects. That was Barmore. I had Barmore, I believe, at 25 or 26, and Onwuzurike was at 47. The other defensive tackles I have are round 3 grades or higher. And I think actually the last 2 are round 4 grades.
There's an indictment on the position.
And that's the top 5. It's the top 5. I'm not saying all those guys are going to go in round 4 and round 3. Teams may reach because of need. But,
well, yeah, of course.
You know, like, I don't think the position is... The defensive line this year... Like last year, it was defensive line rich, you know. This year, it's not. It's actually very thin a defensive line. So if you're a team who's looking for defensive line help in this year's draft, I don't know if you're gonna be very happy with what you get, unless you're getting Jalen Phillips. That's the only one. Everybody else, or Christian Barmore, out of those 2 guys, I don't know if you're really going to be happy with the result that you get. So there it is. That's it. Segment 2, linebackers and defensive line completed.
You did a great job, Joe.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Really? I feel like you really enjoyed that.
I did.
Good.
Really good work.
When we come back, we're going to do our speed mock round 1, the Perfect Spiral mock draft number 2. Coming at you next. All right, here, and we're back for the 3rd and final segment of Perfect Spiral. Again, my name is Joe Miglio, and I have John McCarthy. John, what do we got here for time? How much time we got left?
We're at about 49 minutes.
Wow. See, here at Perfect Spiral, we're always trying new methods here. We're trying to go under an hour today to see how that works for us. So we got 11 minutes. I'm gonna try to get it done in 6. You know,
maybe we can even do it faster than 6.
Maybe we do it faster than 6. I don't know. It's gonna be great. Speed round mock. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna set the timer. Okay, right. So what we're going to do, you get 15 seconds to make each selection.
Ooh.
Max. At 15, you got to say what we got to say.
So wait, are you going to how do you want to do this? We're figuring this out live. Do you want to read the teams and I pick, or me read the teams and you pick? And one person kind of like.
You want to do odd and even?
Do it. Yeah.
All right, let's do that. Let's do odd and even. Okay.
Right.
So let me pull up mock draft here. Let me pull up the mock.
Oh yeah, we have the Draft Network. That's right.
That's right. We subscribe to the Draft Network. It's fantastic. Mock draft. Mock draft. Start a mock. Bing, bang, boom.
Oh boy, I forgot the password.
I got it. Don't worry. I'm already here. I'm on top of my shit, bro.
All right, then you know what? You tell me the teams anyway, and then I'll yeah.
All right. Okay. I even set the draft speed to fast. How you doing?
Whoa.
All right.
Wait, hang on a second, Joe. Slow down. He's super fast.
I'm ready to go, bro. I'm ready.
Right, hang on.
You set the timer on your phone.
Okay. So like to what? Like 4 minutes you said?
No, just do it 15. Yeah, what's 15 seconds times 32?
Math.
Yeah.
You're the math guy.
I'm not actually. 15. So 15 times 4 is 60. So 60 times 8, right? Because it's 32. Divided by 60.
I still count on my hands.
8 minutes.
All right, I'll set the timer on my phone.
8 minutes.
Timer.
I figured that shit out on the spot.
Oh boy. 8 minutes.
8 minutes. You ready?
I am ready. Go.
All right. Trevor Lawrence, pick number 1.
Number 2, Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. Okay. Number 3, Mac Jones.
Number 4, Justin Fields.
Ooh, Justin Fields. Okay. Number 5, Penei Sewell.
Number 6, Kyle Pitts. Wait, no, that was the Dolphins. No. Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase. Okay. Number 7, Lions, Jalen Waddle.
Whoa.
Number 8, Carolina. Well, they already have TJ Hawkinson.
Number 8, Carolina.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts.
Okay. Number 9, Denver Broncos, Micah Parsons.
Whoa. Number 10.
Dallas Cowboys.
Oh boy. Patrick Surtain.
All right. Number 11, New York Giants, Rayshawn Slater.
Whoa. Oh, we always have him.
Number 12, Eagles.
Devontae Smith.
Ooh. Number 13, Chargers, Christian Darrisaw. 14, Vikings.
Jeremiah Owusu-Karamoah.
15, Patriots. Oh, God. J.C. Horn.
Whoa. Number
16, Cardinals.
Cardinals. This is why we have 8 minutes.
It's supposed to be a speed round.
I know. I'm trying. Jalen Phillips.
Ooh, he went there. 17 Raiders. Quiddy Pay. 18 Dolphins.
Dolphins. Najee Harris.
Trey Lance for the Washington football team. Bears. The Bears.
The Bears. Zaven Collins.
Oh, he did not. Okay. Colts, number 21. Oh, shit. Tevin Jenkins.
Number 22. Who's at 22?
Titans.
Titans. Rashad Bateman.
Oh. Jets, 23. Travis Etienne.
Whoa! Because I took Najee Harris.
That's exactly why, yeah.
All right, 24.
Steelers.
Trevon Moehrig.
Whoa, Trevon went safety. Wow, him and Minka.
I'd be sick.
Jaguars, 25. Fuck it. I'm going to do it. Kadarius Tony, 25.
Nice. Number 26.
Cleveland Browns.
Oh. Alex Leatherwood.
Whoa. Wow. Okay. Ravens, 27. Terrence Marshall Jr. Wide receiver. Pick number 28. New Orleans Saints.
Wow. Who do I have the Saints taking? Greg Newsome.
Greg Newsome. Love it. Pick number 21. The Green Bay Packers are going to take Caleb Farley.
Wow, Caleb Farley fell this far, huh?
Yep. Buffalo Bills, number 30.
Buffalo. Did a team take Terrence Marshall yet?
Yep, I did with the Ravens.
Oh, you did? Okay. Wow.
Come on. I'm on the Terrence Marshall train, bro.
You are. Elijah Vera Tucker.
Oh, that was my pick. Oh, you scumbag. That was my pick.
sniped
You did snipe me.
I sniped you in the speed round.
Chiefs at 31. Sam Cosmi.
Ooh, nice.
Bucks at 32.
All right. And Bucks.
Take him. Please take him.
ETN's gone. I can't take ETN.
Take Barmore.
All right, this one's for you, Jose. Christian Barmore.
Yeah. Beautiful. There you go. How much time did we do?
We have 2 minutes and 55 seconds left.
We did that in 6 minutes?
We did that in 6 minutes.
Wow. Excellent. So review. Number 1, Trevor Lawrence. 2, Zach Wilson. 3, Mac Jones. 4, Justin Fields. 5, Penei Sewell. 6, Jamar Chase. 7, Jalen Waddle. 8, Kyle Pitts. 9, Micah Parsons. 10, Patrick Surtain II. 11, Rashawn Slater. 12, Devontae Smith. 13, Christian Darrisaw. 14, Jeremiah Owusu-Karamoa. 15, J.C. Horn. 16, Jaylene Phillips. 17, Kwity Paye. 18, Najee Harris. 19, Trey Lance. 20, Zaven Collins. 21, Tevin Jenkins. 22, Rashad Bateman. 23, Travis Etienne. 24, Trevon Moehrig. 25, Kadarius Toney. 26, Alex Leatherwood, the shocker of the first round. 27, Terrence Marshall. 28, Jason Oweh. I didn't take Jason Oweh. That did not select. That definitely was. That was out. Who the hell was the Saints? Greg Newsome, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know
Greg
why.
Newsome.
Yeah, it was Greg Newsome. Caleb Farley at 29. Elijah Vera Tucker at 30. Sam Cosmi at 31. And my favorite, Christian Barmore at 32. There you have it, folks. Speed round. Mock draft. Coming at you.
Joe is jazzed.
I am
right now.
jazzed. All right. That was fun, actually.
That was a good time.
Next week, we got the skill positions. We got wide receivers, tight ends. No. Let's do wide receivers and corners.
Yes.
And then the following week, we'll do tight ends, offensive line, and safety. Unless
Okay.
you want to do safety, corner, and wide receiver next week.
We can safety. Let's do wide receivers and corners next week. Wait. You know what? Let's throw in tight ends because the tight end classes.
So wide receiver, tight end, corner.
Yes.
And then the following week, before the draft, we're going to do offensive line and safety.
Yes.
Knock him dead.
And then hopefully next week we'll have an announcement on our draft plans. So
Yes, definitely.
Working on that still.
Definitely working on draft plans, but the goal is to do a live stream during the draft. Hopefully you guys could join us for that. That'd be great. That'd be sick. But John, any last things before we go?
No, that's it. This was fun.
This is great.
It's always fun. This is a really good episode.
Make sure to follow us again on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, at PSP Pod, at Perfect Spiral Pod. If you have any questions or any comments, email us at perfectspiralpod@gmail.com. And then you could also catch us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. John is working on a link tree for us, which is somewhere where you'll be able to get everything. And For next week, we may be able to be referencing a certain thing, and
We're under NDA right now.
we're gonna keep that on the down low, and we are going to tease our next segment or our next. We'll call it a series, will we not?
Oh, yes.
We will call it a series. We're gonna tease that, and we are gonna break that to you next week. So make sure you listen in and you hear what the Perfect Spiral podcast has for the downtime period of the NFL football season from about May to July. What the hell could we be doing
I
for
don't know,
2.5, 3 months?
I have no idea,
I don't know. Well, you're going to find out. All right, everybody. For John McCarthy, my name is Joe Miglio. You have yourselves a wonderful Thursday night. Spiral out.
Night, everybody.